Hello everyone, and welcome to this Videos on Frontier video. My name is Jay Wakefield. Now, today I would like to talk to you a wee bit about depression and a wee bit about anxiety. Sorry, that was my phone going off. I'm having a I'm having a Twitter conversation with IBM ThinkPad R51 at the moment. If you want to follow me on Twitter, by the way, my handle is Flying Scotsman J. That's Flying Scotsman, all one word, and then on the end just a letter J. If I know what's good for me, it'll be up on the lower third right now. Anyway, back to today's discussion. Now, at some point last week, Robin Williams actually died. Now, some people will say that he died because he committed suicide, and technically, yes, that is basically how he died. But there's other people who, and I've got to agree with this, I've never heard this before, other people will say he died of depression. And it is true, Robin Williams did suffer quite badly with depression. And it's awful sad because now the world has lost such a fine actor and comedian. Now, I normally don't take any interest in actors of really anything because film and television isn't necessarily something that interests me to a great deal. I mean, sure, I love The Simpsons, I love Family Guy, but I grew up watching Disney, and I've seen Mrs. Doubtfire, but I think for me, the most my abiding memory of Robin Williams has got to be his part as the genie in Aladdin. I believe he was the genie in Aladdin 1, the original, and Aladdin 3, The King of Thieves. He was not the genie, however, in Aladdin The Return of Jafar. That was the second one, Aladdin 2. In Aladdin 2, the part of the genie was actually played by Dan Castellaneta, who plays Homer on The Simpsons. It's been such a long time since I watched it. I remember it was on on Boxing Day 2000 in the UK. Anyway, I really am going off topic here. I'm not wanting to spend a whole video talking about Robin Williams' death and how sad I think it was. And yes, it was sad. I would prefer to spend my time talking about depression. What Robin Williams' death means. So, 3 minutes in, and let's go. So, as some long-time viewers will know, I myself suffer from depression. It really is a debilitating illness, but a lot of people will have you believe that depression is the fault of the person who suffers with it. And I'm sorry, but that's just not the case. Depression is an illness. Okay, it's a mental health illness, but it is an illness all the same. And what's more is that it's an up and down illness. So some days, for example, I can be up and out and doing all sorts of things, go and get shopping or clean the house or do other things. And on other days, I feel that I'm just unable to get out of my bed. And I've got to be honest, that is debilitating. I'll give you an example. Yesterday, I wanted to do a video. In fact, I still do want to do a video. I've not recorded it yet. I need to get on that. So I wanted to do a video on my Packard Bell computer. I guess that is a video spoiler. I wanted to do this video, but I couldn't. Even though I was up, I just physically couldn't bring myself to do it. Yes, it is a very odd thing to happen, but it's really difficult to describe. It's just, you want to do something and you just can't physically do it. And, this can apply to anything, I mean, sometimes it's even difficult to get up and eat. And yes, I know it's, you know, such a thing might be difficult to believe, but it is actually really quite difficult. Unfortunately, as is the way with most things in 2010s Britain, people with depression themselves are being blamed for this. And new set of rules coming in from the government. If someone with depression wants to get sickness benefit, they will be forced to take treatment that doesn't necessarily work. That just shows how little Britain thinks of its most vulnerable in society. Now, for some people, antidepressants, they work and work wonderfully. For other people, they can be trying for ages all sorts of different meds. And not only do certain meds not work for everyone, but they can actually make you feel much, much worse. I personally have tried about 3 different types of antidepressants. I've tried cognitive behavioural therapy. That didn't work. So I just basically have to muddle through best I can, really. And, you know, I mean, I do my best, but some people do a lot better than me at managing depression. Others, not so good. I think Robin Williams' death, I mean, I was saying on, I think it was Monday or Tuesday when he died, I can't even mind the date. Monday would have been the 10th, Tuesday would have been the 11th. No, Monday would have been the 11th, Tuesday would have been the 12th. I don't know when, I can't remember when he died, but all I can say is, when I got the news of him having died, I was kind of hoping that a debate would then start about depression. In the same way that when Jade Goody died in March 2009, it encouraged a lot of young women to get cervical screenings, as Jade Goody had died of cervical cancer. You know, and the media called this, uptake of cervical screening tests by women as the Jade Goody effect. And I was kind of hoping that Robin Williams' struggle with depression and eventual death would actually be, kind of brought. I kind of hoped that, and I kind of predicted in a way, but more hoped that depression and how it can affect people would be brought to the public, brought to the public attention. Now, I really don't watch traditional media because I can't deal with bad news. Unfortunately, that can be a depression trigger, and I'll just focus on it. But where social media has been concerned, following Facebook and Twitter, it's depression has actually been brought to the forefront, and I think that's a good thing. Hopefully now, we'll get more and more people. Hopefully now they'll actually be able to do, get more people to recognise that, it isn't, it's not the person's fault that they have depression. Hopefully now we'll be able to encourage, councils or governments to actually set aside money to support those with depression, although to be honest the UK government is a lost cause. Hopefully we'll be able to, teach people who provide services to people with depression that, there's a certain way to kind of speak to us, or certain things that you really shouldn't say. And the latter, I've got to be honest, I mean, I have had lots of I've had support from lots of different professional organisations, and a few have been really very quite insensitive about my depression. Oh, just get out, they'd say, or oh, just try and cheer up, or you'll have to learn to cope, sort of thing. That's not the way to do it. It's putting the blame and the pressure on me isn't going to help me. It's in fact probably going to make me worse or make me angry. And it's really quite sad that mental health is still stigmatized, and depression. Let me say, is not the same as being depressed. It's slightly different. It's. I mean, I used to think that depression was being depressed, but when I started with depression for real, back in 2010, one of the things that scared me the most was the fact that, in 2009 and 2010, I was really into playing on my games consoles. I had an Xbox 360, which unfortunately now I've sold, but I have the PlayStation 3. Now, I'd had something, I'd gone through something in July 2010, something quite personal. A few days later, I thought, I'm going to have a play on the PlayStation. So, I picked up the controller, switched it on, put the game in. 10 minutes later, I couldn't play. I just felt, I'd completely lost the ability to actually play this game. Or any game. I mean, it wasn't just a case of, I don't like this game, and take it out and put a different one in, or I'll switch to the Xbox and play something on that. I just literally couldn't play. It was awful. It was scary, because to not enjoy something that you really do enjoy, it wasn't a gradual, I'm bored with this. It's just more, oh my goodness, I really can't do this. That is scary. And it's things like that make depression really debilitating. It's you just physically can't do things that you would normally want to do. And then there's days, like I said, where you just can't get out of bed. And what I would like to do is, I would like to say, look, the stigma's got to stop. And the idea that you can apportion blame. What we really need is support. Too many people die as a result of depression. And I know this video's been a lot about my own personal experience. It's just really, really difficult to... obviously, it's difficult for me to be able to, see from other people's experiences. I know that some are better, some are worse. But I think more needs to be done, for people who are crying out. More needs to be done to be able to, detect if people have, people do have a problem with depression. But even for those who do, when they cry out, there's nothing for them. I was actually reading an article this morning, something about men not being able to cope with men. It's basically stereotypical thing that men don't talk about their feelings, and that they're kind of discouraged from doing so. And to be honest, I find that I don't feel that males are sympathetic to depression that much either. I mean, obviously some are. I'm not saying not all of them are, but some. It's more I think it's more a female thing to be, I think females are more compassionate to that sort of thing. Women are more likely to actually go and seek help. And I think if you actually have a woman friend, I mean, this is from my experience, I think women friends are actually more able to cope, to talk to you about depression and to be able to sympathise with you. But having said that, I do have male friends that can sympathise, and I have female friends who just don't get it. But, or I know females who just don't get it. But I think, it was quite interesting to read that men, by and large, won't talk about their feelings. Well, I am a man, I think. I was when I checked this morning, but I do believe that. I think that, if we can encourage men that it's okay to talk about one's feelings, that would be, breaking down a massive, massive gender stereotype, typical role. But if we're able to do that, then, we'd at least have one battle of the Big War won. But that has been a wee video, just on depression. I'm really sorry if it's not been that good, if I'm honest. But I hope you have enjoyed watching this video. If you have, please feel free to subscribe to my channel. If you enjoy what I do on this channel, please feel free to, like I said, subscribe. Look back at my previous videos. There's quite a lot on there to watch. And feel free also to like us on Facebook. But that said, thank you for watching, and I hope you'll all join me for my next video.